It's that legacy thing. That is the good side of family.
Right.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
100%.
just having those passions and passing those passions down to another generation.
He actually had to do a mock interview thing, and they were talking about strengths and weaknesses and things that you've learned and whatnot. And he talks about the impact of serving with you guys.
Yep.
My mother was doing all of the invoicing, all of the accounting on a typewriter. Now, granted, this was 24 years ago, so I mean, it's evolved a bunch, but there has been that evolution of just that sort of thing.
This is the Disruptive Hope Podcast. Hope sees, hope engages, hope belongs, hope builds. Hope disrupts the narrative of despair, and in the tension of holding both sorrow and joy, we invite hope to redefine the lens through which we see and interact with the world. Embrace the challenge and become an agent of hope in unlikely places. Welcome to the Disruptive Hope Podcast.
Welcome to Legacy Shift. This is a podcast where we talk about the pitfalls and the joys of working with family in organizations that last. I'm your host, Dwayne Wehunt, co-founder of SOS International. Hey, welcome to another edition of Legacy Shift. It's a podcast that we've been doing on family business, and I'm especially excited about our conversation today. We have Jen and Eddie Tarvin here. Jen and Eddie are like family to us.
Yes.
They're partners in a warehouse that we have, and they have a logistics business called Goldrush. So say hi to the people.
Hi, people. We're so happy to be here. You guys
Hello,
are
people.
family to us, too, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about Goldrush. It's a logistics company.
Yeah, we're actually a transportation broker. So we have customers that have freight that they need to ship across the country, and then we have truck lines looking for freight, and we marry them up and ship it out. So.
And it's a family-owned business?
Yeah, my dad, Bob, has owned it with Sonny, his partner, for the last
30
20
years?
Yeah,
28,
just
30 years?
under 30 years. Purchased it from some dear friends of ours, and when they went to work for them, it was with the understanding that they would one day take the business over, and so they did. And
And what made you guys decide to go to Goldrush?
Well, I was working at Bell Helicopter second shift, and the opportunity came up, to go work there before we got married so we could have a more stable home life. And I just jumped on it as the driver for a year.
Yeah, for a year. And I was working full-time at a staffing agency, and Sonny's wife was pregnant and doing sales at the time and knew that she was out. Like, she knew she wanted to go on maternity leave and possibly not return. And so the guys were like, hey, and we both, I mean, like he said, we were engaged to be married. Everyone thought we were insane,
Crazy.
like literally insane. And it's something that we talked a lot about before we went, because like, working in a family business and in that situation, and from being in our office, but like we're literally sitting on top of one another working. It's not like you're in separate offices where you have like private space
privacy.
or anything.
Yeah.
But I started in April of 2000. He started in August. And we got married in September.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody's like, you're either going to be divorced or disown your family like within the next 5 years, but it's worked out perfect.
And here we are almost 2025, and you're
Right.
still there.
Insane.
Still there.
And you're still smiling.
Yes.
Insane.
Get
I
to
know
work
we
with-
still love each
Yeah,
other.
get to work with my best friend, so,
It's pretty
it works
awesome.
out.
Yeah, that's good. I went to the SOS archives and tried to kind of history our relationship.
Yes.
I think we started together in 2009, back to school.
Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
back to
And
school.
it all started with back to school, and you guys would store all of the supplies that would get donated, and then you'd bring a big truck out.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
we'd give away, I don't know,
Yeah.
thousands of school
Thousands,
supplies.
It was amazing.
And then in 2012, I think it was, our relationship morphed a little bit. Your dad came to me, and
that was really special.
Your business sort of changed
It
at that
did.
time,
It did,
right?
yeah.
And you didn't need your warehouse that you had leased, and
Exactly.
your dad sat in my living room and cried, and
We were all
said,
pretty emotional.
Yeah. Said we'd like to give you this space to use if you could to help feed poor kids, and so we started that in 2012, and just from what I can, what I have good numbers for,
Right.
We've run over $40 million
I don't
worth
know.
of gift in kind through there. In fact, the last 5 years, it's, 1 year was 8 million,
Right.
and
Insane.
Yeah.
6 million last year, and, so many good partnerships. But so we feel like you're our operations in our U.S. office for what we do locally. But man, it's been a great partnership.
It's fun.
It's really interesting, like pastors all the time talk about you don't have to be in ministry like to do ministry, right? And I mean, I'll never forget Dad being like, "Hey, like we've got this logistics knowledge, like how can we serve God, partner with these we hunt people that we like so much, like we worked so closely with Christy through like the back to school, and then of course got to know you guys so much better, and just it's really I think the best way to say it, working that program and continuing to with you guys, it has just breathed life into what we even do at Goldrush. It's
Yep.
opened partnerships with other nonprofits that we haul freight for, that we've gotten to know, the partners that pick up. Like 25 years doing outside sales, whew, that was a lot, right?
Yeah.
So coming in and having a little bit of a mix up, and just knowing what we're doing with it's
Yeah,
just special. It's made an already great family business and an operation. We're really proud of what we do at Goldrush. But adding that extra layer has just been fantastic and life-giving, honestly.
Yeah. Either one of you have a favorite story from Loads of Hope? I mean, there's probably 1,000. and
Maybe
I'm
that
sure-
one with Officer Biggs when he was praying.
Tell that was amazing.
You were watching. I was part of it, but there was a group that was picking up there, and they were from South Dallas, I believe.
Kimball High School.
Kimball High
recruit.
School. And Officer Biggs from Tarrant County Sheriff's Office was there picking up, and they approached him and said, we would like to pray for you. And there were, how many were out there?
I don't know. It was like 15, probably 15 to 20
Yeah.
of them. And this was in the height of when there was, there's always, of course, diversity issues
Lot of
and things
tension.
like that in the world. But this was in the height of where there was a lot of tension surrounding that, police officers and people of color. And it was the most beautiful thing
Yeah.
I've ever
They
witnessed.
surrounded him and prayed
And
for him.
Our AC guy was there, like servicing the AC.
Yeah,
and
he got in
asked,
on it, yeah.
He said, "Do you mind if I pray with you?" And so all of our awesome friends from Kimball that are all primarily African American stood there holding big old Kelly, as white as white can be, and they grabbed his hands, and the AC guy stands in, and they were all like weeping by the time it was over. It was just this beautiful,
awesome.
And that's what, in my opinion, that not only are we feeding people and loving people and meeting needs and meeting them where they're at, but the community that it has grown, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. We have 103 partners now.
Yeah.
in
Crazy.
The
Awesome.
Metroplex.
And
Crazy.
more people that want to be a part of it. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, it is.
The
It
need.
is. It is.
It's shocking to me. I didn't realize the need in North Texas
Yeah.
before we started doing this stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So let's talk about family and business for a little bit.
Yeah.
Family and business, can be challenging. It can be really good, but it also can be really, really a struggle. Tell me, about how do you maintain that family and work-life balance?
Between in general.
being a family,
Yeah.
just in general. Like, you're going to go home.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
be with your mom and dad on the weekend in the
Yeah.
pool.
Yep.
How do you maintain like a balance so that you can still be their daughter and you can still be their son-in-law, and we're not always talking about Goldrush?
Sure. It's been a work in progress.
It definitely.
For sure.
We try to leave work at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
You
do.
know, any problems that come up at work usually will get resolved at work, and that's just where it happens.
I think that often, from Jump Street, and especially we're not only a family business, we're a small business, right? There's 5 of us, 4 of which are related to one another. And Sunny is practically related.
He
we've
is.
all
Yeah.
been together in a family for so long. But I think the common goal of this is our livelihood. This is what puts food on the table. Like, we all want what's best for our families, which means you got to do what's best for business. You know, like we've always, Eddie and I are very good about, we might chat initially, because especially now with him driving more so now, we'll chat when we get home about just a quick little snippet of what the day was like or whatever. But it's important to respect the boundaries of, there's work life and there's home life, you know, but also appreciating the fact that sometimes that blends, you know, and it's tricky, you know, especially like a father-daughter, and because Dad and I work mostly together. Mom gets to sit up in her little office and do her stuff. But that balance, you know, of course, respecting my father and his partner as my boss, but also knowing there's that dynamic, right? But they are really exceptional at allowing us to have opinions. Like my dad's really good about that, you know, and he knows that, and probably more times than not, I don't always agree with everyone. But it's about speaking respectfully and, you know, just talking openly and communicating. And it's, I think communication is like, it's just huge. And respect.
Right.
Communication and respect is huge.
And we're all there for the same goal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You know, what you said about opinions, and, you know, sometimes in generations think different.
Yes,
right?
for
so
sure.
Like I work with my children.
Right.
They think different than I do.
Yeah.
Right. You know, has there been times where there's needed to be some kind of, I'll say technology, but some kind of modern, you know, modernization of the way we're doing business, and the two generations don't think the same, and one is traditional and one's always done it this way, and, you know, and this way is not always the easiest way.
Funny story.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
When we both started at Goldrush, my mother was doing all of the invoicing, all of the accounting on a typewriter. A typewriter.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this was 24 years ago, so I mean, it's, you know, we've evolved a bunch as
for the children out there listening.
Right,
typewriter was what we had before we had computers.
Right, it was crazy. So
dot matrix printer. It was loud.
Right, like we tease, like Eddie's like our IT guy, because he's like the guy. We didn't have computers on our desk, you know, so
we would handwrite everything.
Yeah, that evolution, and even emailing, and, you know, they were old school before we really got into email, and they loved the personal relationships with customers and be able to talk to people on the phone. Unfortunately, that's kind of a lost art now, but we still like to maintain that, but also understanding the paper trail and needing to have emails and why that's important, but still at the same time never losing touch with who we are as a company through that evolution, if that makes sense, right? Like, so I feel like one of the things that we do the best in our industry are customer service. You know, you're not just a number, like we take care of people. And the guys, even though we want to be successful in our business to grow, we've never wanted to get huge. You know, we want to be able to provide for our family and not lose that personal touch. But there has been that evolution of just that sort of thing, you know, computers and email and, you know, all that sort of stuff.
I know with the SOS part of it, there was a point where you came to us, I believe, with a program that we could add inventory into so that our partners could go online and see what it was. I mean, just those kind of things, you know, business is changing.
It
is.
is.
You know, trying to keep up with that when you're mine and your dad's age,
sure.
sometimes that's hard.
It is difficult. And our industry is very different. I mean, a lot of what we do in logistics, there's and not owning like outside trucks, being a broker, it's just a lot of phone and email work. So we don't have any like super fancy, you know, like software that we use. We have like a general software that we use. But I mean, those were big steps, but they were steps that needed to be taken so that we could grow and, you know, just be more efficient and whatnot. But they've been open to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
New phones.
yeah,
New
getting ready.
phones.
We had pagers, you know, like
Right,
we had a pager, right?
for the
So
longest
now
time.
we have a cell phone that
Right.
we use, and it's
Right.
really it has evolved quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad
For
they're
the
open
good.
to it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so Eddie, I have a question for you.
All right.
What's it like being the son-in-law?
You know, it's good. It's good. I have no complaints.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always enjoyed going to work there.
No challenges being the son-in-law?
No, there's always a challenge, but you know, I'm a laid back person.
Yeah.
I don't get riled up. You know, I get the work done. Might not be how most people, you know, some people would get it done, but it gets done. So,
Yeah.
but no, it's good.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, and we all get along. I
Yeah.
mean, there is no, we all laugh, cut up together. So,
Yeah, I've seen it all.
yeah,
It's
For sure.
It's really a special thing, you know, like challenging, yes, to think of when people say like you work with your spouse, like, are you out of your mind? Y'all know, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy, right? But it's really a cool thing, and makes me proud as a wife and a daughter to see the relationship that has developed, like between, like, you know, Dad and Eddie and Sonny too, and my mom, and how much they love him and respect him and value him.
Yeah.
I mean, I love and respect and value him, but to see others appreciate him for who he is as a wife, that's a pretty awesome thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and of course, even the relationship with your son.
Yeah,
I mean, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Watching your parents be grandparents to him.
it's
and
amazing.
Even Sonny, watching him with
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
his kids. I
And
mean, they're our family.
Right.
You know,
For
watching
sure.
his kids grow, and Tyler's been a part of doing, you know, things at the office. He worked with you guys for, you know, last summer
right.
while he was, you know, home from college. But as a kid, he was up at the
Yeah.
warehouse,
Yeah.
sorting donations, and Sonny's
Climbing
kids
in
too.
boxes, yeah.
And it's all come just full circle. It's beautiful, you know. And yeah, I don't know. It's pretty great.
You know, all in my phone line, I have all of my grandkids at some point, except for the two that live in Greenville. They haven't done it yet, but all my grandkids and Elisha's son,
Yes,
everybody
yeah.
on the forklift,
There,
right?
Right.
there you go.
Riding around
Right,
with Eddie,
yep.
right in the
Yep.
warehouse, moving
Yes.
stuff around.
Yep.
It's
That's like big
awesome.
stuff for them, man.
Right.
It's really
They always
cool.
talk about going and riding that forklift for sure.
That's awesome.
But that's like legacy stuff, and how
Yeah.
cool that they get to see. I mean, Tyler, he will tell us, like, things will get brought up at school, you know, papers he has to write, or, you know, what was impactful in your life as a kid or whatever. And that's one of the stories he to this day still tells. He actually had to do a mock interview thing, and they were talking about strengths and weaknesses and things that you've learned and whatnot. And he talks about the impact of serving with you guys and in the warehouse. And that all started from just kind of this leap of faith of, hey, you know, I feel like God's like pushing us to do this. What does this look like? We'll figure it out. And we've figured it
Yep.
out, you know, like
I
it's
can
been
remember when he was
such
in
a,
high school, him and a bunch of his buddies being
Yeah.
in there
Yep.
oh,
in the
they would come up.
warehouse
Yeah.
working.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. And they loved
For
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Baseball
You know,
team.
Leslie, my wife,
Yeah.
was at our golf tournament we just did this weekend, and she was riding in the cart with Elisha's son.
Yes.
And
Love that kid.
like, he's so helpful. She was
Oh yeah.
she was
Fantastic.
marveling at how much he would jump out and
Yeah.
help and help and help. And at some point, he got in the cart and he said, "You know, Gigi, when I get big, I just want to help
Calls her
people."
Chi-Chi.
Yeah, he
Oh,
Oh, man.
sorry. That's
He,
so
he
sweet.
calls me Papa D.
I love
Papa
it.
D.
But he said, "You know, Gigi, when I get older, I just want to help people. That's what I want to do."
There
And
you
I mean,
go.
that's his dad, right?
It is.
Yes.
Who runs our local stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's that legacy
It
thing.
is.
That is the good side of family,
Right.
Yes.
right? I mean,
100%.
just having those passions and passing those passions down to another generation and seeing them really fall in love with helping people is
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing.
And I think being like in a small business and a family business, there's a lot of pressure, you know,
Yeah.
like I know for Dad and Sonny,
talk
like
about that a little
just,
bit.
I mean, geez, just our economy, you know,
Right.
since like COVID and after, it's tricky in our industry too. You have all the big guys coming in, and it's hard to be a little guy in
Right.
our world, and it's trusting, you know, like, God, you've put us in this position, you know, and we're being faithful to what you're asking us to do, and we're doing all that we can as far as partnering with you guys, and still doing, of course, our business side, which is what keeps the lights on. It's super important, right? But it's tough. And so that's when I say, as far as like life giving, on those weeks when you're like, oh, geez, business is slow, or, you're just trying to push through, to have that, just always knowing that, I don't know, it has built a, and I said, like, there's like this extra layer, but even just a faith, you know what I'm saying? Just trusting, like, there are too many good things going on here. Like, we trust that this is all going to be okay. Yeah. And it's not always easy to feel that way, Yeah. But you just gotta, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what would you tell other listeners that were thinking about either starting or joining a family business?
I mean, it's worked out great for us.
Right.
It has.
Yeah,
I would say,
I don't know.
Go for it. I mean, but,
Yeah, just
think
know
about what you're
there's
doing.
going to be difficult times.
Know the personality. I think personalities play a huge part. Like I said, especially in our situation, being in the small quarters that we're in. Like Eddie said, he's pretty passive. You have Sonny and Dad that are a little bit more outspoken, and I'm kind of the passive aggressive-ish, not aggressive, but you know what I mean, like passive but also assertive in situations, and it's figuring out how each other work, like my son's up in college in Kansas right now, and he's doing this leadership class, and it's like learning leadership personalities. And one thing they just said, that they taught him this platinum rule. I'm like, what is this? I'd never heard of this before. Have you heard of this?
I don't know.
Do unto others as they would want to have done unto them.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So understanding how somebody else receives information. Yeah. Understand kind of like your love languages, like, with your spouse, like if my love language is physical touch and his is gifts, or what, like you have to figure out what the other person needs and respects and what they respond to. Yeah. And in a small family business, it's a lot of the same.
Right. Yeah.
It's figuring out how to talk to people and how to respect who they are as a person. It's understanding that sometimes we have some crappy days. Yeah. I don't always have to be in a good mood, and it's not always about you.
I've never seen you in a bad mood.
Oh, come on.
Well, let me tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
But I think it just respect and communication, good, healthy boundaries, right? Like,
yep.
It can be a beautiful thing, and we're very proud.
Yeah, you should be very proud.
We are very proud. Yeah. It's good, and we love each other, and it works. It's definitely doable.
I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question.
Oh, we love uncomfortable.
However, I'm 62 and I just went through this process, so it's inevitable.
Right.
You don't want it to be inevitable, but it is. What does secession look like? Have y'all talked about that at all?
We have a bit.
A little bit, but not.
I feel like when things slowed down, like through COVID and business slowing down a bit, that dynamic changed. I think maybe Dad would have wanted to retire a little earlier, but due to all of that, he's stayed on board, and we're all pushing through. And I'm an only child. So, I mean, that kind of makes it a little easy, like, as far as we're concerned. Like, our goal going in and working at Goldrush ultimately was at some point taking over, like, Dad and Mom's side of things, and then Sonny has his, too. Like, it's completely...
He's younger. He's surprisingly younger to me.
Yeah. 10 years older than us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. He's going to kill us when he listens to this.
Right.
But yeah, I think he's about 10 years, something like that.
I have no
older
idea.
Than us,
I don't
right?
think he's, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it's different for us. Like, I mean, that's our goal. But as far as beyond us, like, what does that look like?
Yeah,
I'm like,
no clue.
Tyler wants to be a firefighter.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I don't know what that looks like, but we're not big. I am not a big stressor of that.
Right.
I think we've kind of just trusted in the process up to this point, and we'll just continue to. Yeah. I don't know that Sonny's kids will ever, come to work at Goldrush, but I know however we continue it, it'll be good. I mean, we've had really very few, but a few people that have come into our fold that we've
Right.
been blessed to work with that have either moved on or
Right,
retired or,
yeah.
what have you. And it's hard. It's hard to hire in a family business. It's hard to trust people.
Yeah. Liability.
And bring people into that fold when you're this like tight knit group. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But we're up for the challenge. So
Yeah, we've had to do a lot of that ourselves.
yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
it's interesting.
It is, for sure. And, you don't want people to feel like they're not a part of the family.
100%.
Right.
They are.
Yeah,
The SOS family.
yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah, that's good. Any other thing that you would want to convey to a listener about working together as a husband and wife, or working with your mom and dad, or working with your in-laws, or,
I can't think of it. No, I mean, not off the top of my head.
I mean, I find it so funny that people always go to the negative thoughts whenever they talk about like family working together.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because it's all I've ever known. And there's like real beauty that can come from it, like, there's challenges. Yes, of course, like we're all human, right? But there's something about building
Yeah.
that within your family, within your people, and it's really special.
I mean, you think about business in general, are they finding less problems outside of their family
Right.
if they're working for somebody else?
Yeah, I mean
Right.
the dynamic that we have, like, it's made us closer.
Yeah.
I feel like it
Oh,
has.
for sure.
We depend on each other not only at home but at work.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, like, I get to work with my best friend and my parents that I adore, and Sonny is family too. Like,
Yeah.
there's just something really special about that, and I think our marriage has been better for it.
Oh, for sure.
So you mentioned this a little bit when you talked about the component of when things are rough, and
Yeah.
you've seen, the Lord be faithful to other
Sure.
people. But talk about faith in your business a little bit, your faith, and what that's like in Goldrush, because you're strong believers, all of
Right.
you.
Yes.
We are.
And how does that component sort of play into the success of Goldrush?
I think it's daily.
Yeah.
You talk about like what foundation, like what your foundation is built on, and knowing that we all have that heart, right? Knowing that being a believer, there's these elements, right, of kindness and caring and compassion and all these things that thankfully, it is a part of the fold. It's part of who we are.
Right.
And that just makes our business run smoother.
Right.
We could get upset and frustrated, and when times are tough, like you could go down a rabbit hole
Yeah, you can.
super easy. But having faith and trusting that God's present in it,
Yeah.
even in the
Bring us
yucky
through it.
stuff,
Yep.
it's comforting. It is,
Yeah.
because it's not always easy.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy, like in a marriage or as a parent, or, I mean, you name it. It's just
not
life.
always easy?
No, you didn't know that?
What a lucky guy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, not true. Right.
But it's not. But having God at the center of that, it just
Something to fall back on.
always you
Yeah.
have it. It's there, and having that trust and knowing that no matter what, we're gonna
be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Yeah, that foundation, like I've
It's
seen
huge.
that in all of your lives, and
Yeah.
and that foundation, that's just a value in Goldrush, right?
Well, and it is, and
Yeah.
in the way we treat our customers and
Everybody,
anyone that
Right.
walks
Anybody
through our
walks in your
door.
door,
Yeah,
Yep.
we
they
just
get treated a certain way.
we're supposed to be the hands and feet, right? Like that's and I feel like, just like I said in the beginning, like when Dad was like, we've been given this gift of this knowledge of logistics and what we do, and us all working together, and like it's really one of those things where like God knew. Like I believe
Right.
this was in the cards like long before Dad even dreamt it up. You know what I mean? Like I do. I think God knew that we all would be in this time in this place and doing what we do, and it's having the courage through
Yeah.
faith
Right.
to step out,
Yeah.
you know, and
Do something not normally done in the transportation brokerage.
yeah, people are
Exactly.
like, you do what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or they think that we don't even have a transportation
Right.
company and we're just like work with SOS. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
It's
don't
like
understand how they work together.
Yeah.
But it's great.
What a blessing for SOS that we don't have to figure out logistics at all.
Right.
Right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Because we can just help people.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing partnership for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the side that I get to do, especially, just with the volunteering of like the inventory and the dealing with the partners and all of that. I know Eddie misses it
I do.
terribly.
Driving, you don't get to do it as much.
I don't.
Well,
no.
he used to be the one like
Yeah.
in the beginning.
I know.
Before you
Right.
guys had like warehouse staff,
Yeah.
like
Right.
it was literally we were the ones pulling and
Yeah.
he was the
I
one
was
loading.
loading.
And all those partners, they to this day, how's Eddie doing? You know, like the bond that
Yeah.
he built with those folks in the early days, and all those partners we still have.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's something pretty special.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, I said this at the beginning, but it wouldn't be possible without you guys. It wouldn't be possible. Like, it was built because of Goldrush, because of your partnerships with people, and you're willing to
Sure.
to talk
Right.
about it, and you willing to go back there and
Right.
run that
Right,
thing
yeah.
and
Right.
do all that work, that neither one of you were getting paid for
Yeah, we didn't.
at
Right.
all.
We
That's
didn't
all
need
right.
it.
So
Seeing the
It's-
smiles
Yeah,
on their
but
faces
I'm just
made
saying
it worth
it,
it.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
that's a special thing.
It is. It.
For sure.
But it's just as special for us. Like I mean, like I said, it's been life for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonny's family being able to be a part of that, even not working in daily operations, like his kids being able to serve. And Missy just recently got a hookup on this great donation of like 2 or 3 pallets of like clothes, children's clothes and adult clothes that we can give, and our friends and our family that have also been able to be a part of that, and the people that come and volunteer. And I mean, it has been this just beautiful, I don't know, just like this tapestry, I guess, of all these people just kind of
Right.
coming together, us and you guys and everybody else. And I can't even, we will never know
Yeah.
this side of heaven, the
Never.
impact and the reach, but it is fantastic.
Yeah.
And to be able to be a part of that with y'all,
Yeah.
it's huge.
Yeah.
We're very grateful.
It is for us too, and we're extremely grateful for sure. We couldn't do it without you, and I can't tell you how many times your father has encouraged me. He'll send me text, just randomly. He'll send me a text. Hey, I was thinking about you today, and
Yeah.
just wanted to remind you of all the people that being blessed and touched. And
He's a good dude.
thank you. He's a good
Yep.
guy,
I
man. His
love
heart
him.
is
Very
good.
proud of him.
Yeah, for sure.
He and my mom both. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
pretty fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a lot like you in the understanding the importance of legacy and what you're leaving behind, and how important that is to like love on people and tell people you care about them, and I never doubt. It's one thing I've told my parents always. I have never doubted one day of my life, and I know how blessed I am for this, how loved I am.
Yeah.
Ever. I haven't.
That's
And
a
that is
gift.
a gift from
It is
God,
a gift,
for
for
sure.
sure.
I mean, you're loved by, of course, our Heavenly Father unconditionally.
Yeah.
But to have that and to work together and to
Right.
still have that,
Yeah.
whew, it's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, I just want to thank y'all for coming and
Thank you.
sitting
Yeah.
and talking about
You
this
bet.
stuff. We've noticed at SOS that a lot of our partners, whether it's overseas,
Mm-hmm.
here, other places, they have this family legacy thing,
Mm.
and we've also noticed a lot of the businesses that have been long-term supporters
Sure.
of SOS, they have this family legacy thing. And, we've seen over and over where, one member of the family will jump in, and then all of a sudden generations
Yeah, it's
are
crazy.
coming
Right.
and getting involved in it. So legacy is such an important
It is.
Yeah.
part of, I think the kingdom and what God calls us to. And,
Right.
you guys model it so well. So
Thank
thanks for
you.
taking the time to come.
No,
and sit
thank
and
you
Yeah,
for
this is
asking
awesome.
us.
Yep.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
been, we always love talking to you. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I do too. Anyways, we want to just thank you for being here,
Of
and
course.
thank you for listening to this episode of
Yeah,
Legacy
for
Shift.
sure.